later.
That or their timer was off. Who knows?
Yeah, we'll deal with that later. Anyway, we had some arrows in the first chest. It looks like Professor Renderer went for them, but Hydropower and Zelga saying no to those arrows. Yeah, Hydropower and Zelga Desan are two very seasoned runners of Spiller races. They were both players in it last year. Zelga getting pretty far.
Uncle's giving up his explosive. And Simo with a lamp.
Man, the sink on the right side here is crazy.
So it looks like most of the runners are heading to Kakariko now. If not all of them.
Yeah, Kakariko has some stuff in it that our players are going to want. Maybe just the bombs. Yep. It was an easy source of bombs.
Easy source of bombs. Apparently they didn't want Uncle's bombs.
Now, some racers get detailed enough in their studying that they look and see exactly what chests they need to open in each area. Some others, they'll just see, oh, I just need to check everything in here. And that's as granular as they get. Now, only grabbing the specific chest you need is way faster, but it requires more mental capacity to kind of process and remember.
And the bottle vendor giving up his glove.
That's why they went for those rupees.
And the chicken hut is obviously giving us something good. That moon pearl.
So, for the entirety of this Spiller tournament and our race tonight, we are playing very, very generic settings. It's just going to be open mode, essentially. 7 crystals to get into GT, 7 to defeat Ganon. It's about as standard as it gets, without it being standard. So Zelga's kind of showing us just the power of just, well, was showing us the power of execution, and more importantly, the Spiller log does tell you some of the drops. It'll tell you the stun prize, the content of the tree poles, what the bush crab has, and also what you get for saving a fish. So you can use that also to your advantage in your early game routing.
Yeah, especially if you need those rupees. If a stun prize is 20 rupees, you're going to be stunning everything.
Sibo, don't die.
We're finding the hammer, the cannon burna, and a heart container and 3 bombs in Mini Moldworm Cave.
Alright, so Hydropower is opting to bail, and Zelga's just gonna immediately go into the Dark World. I wonder why he's doing this.
I can only
I'm tempting
assume that
you.
it's something close to here. Well, going for bombs, it has to be Hype Cave. So maybe Hype Cave is actually hype.
I mean, why else would you come here in a spoiler race, right?
This is true.
So speaking of spoiler races are really the ultimate. Oh, there's our hook shot. It's nice.
And that was it.
And Hydropower is grabbing a little bit of safety there, grabbing Blue Mail out of the back of Escape. Yeah, Professor Render scouted out Library.
Interesting.
Yeah, and we see neither player. Is he actually looking at the spoiler log?
He might be. He might just think since he's there, it might be faster to go in instead of searching for it in the log. I don't know.
That's fair. That extra. So basically, grabbing that armor there essentially effectively doubled Hydropower's health pool.
It looks like Seamo's
with the
doing the
exception,
same.
Yeah, it's grabbing at least Blue Mail is always a good snag. Yep. So there's our Ice Rod. That was on Old Man.
My question is, why does he have that?
Well, I mean, TR is a crystal.
Well, I mean, why does the old man have the ice rod?
Oh, we're going into Rando lore. All right.
Yeah.
So, back in the prequel to Link to the Past, the Link to the Past, that game. I'm not sure if anybody's heard of it. Link was actually the old man. Old man was actually an older Link. He's an older Link because reasons. And
total sense.
He played a true ice rod hunt before this, and he found that ice rod, and he wanted to spare Link, the new Link, the trouble of having to go find it, because he had already spent 2 hours playing a true ice rod hunt seed.
Yeah, everybody loves a true ice rod hunt. And there are those Titans myths in Paradox Cave.
Yeah, I'm wondering if Professor Render is playing this blind.
He may be.
To each their own, I guess.
Yeah. Looks like Zalga's checking out Super Bunny Cave.
It's a nice snag. So these races tend to run about, I would say, a good benchmark to get generally is a sub 50. If you do 50 minutes or less, adjusted for the study period.
Oh, that's why.
Not included.
That's why he went there.
Oh yeah, this Paradox Cave was loaded.
So
there's our flippers. Those we'll probably see those at some point, maybe. Yeah, we'll have to. And we're gonna need that bow for pod. So, for those just joining us, this is a spoiler log race. This is actually, so 2 days from now, on September 24th, here on Speed Gaming, is the start of the second season of the ALTTP spoiler tournament. You're going to have 2 to 3 months of spoiler log races at your disposal here. And it's going to be a good time.
And Zelga finding the Cane of Samara in Spike Cave.
So
I'm guessing there's something good in Hera Basement here, since we're going there.
probably a big key. I haven't even looked at the log. I'm just guessing right now. Of course, then he could Hera pot. Which
True.
means there's maybe something in the big chest that they want.
This is true.
Whereas Zelga is just like going straight into pod. There's no fear. Charging for that. That's a 5/6 crystal, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and you have everything to do it, so you might as well do it.
Yep. So there's our big key. Yep.
So definitely something in the big chest.
Yeah, I think Hydropower knows how to.
Hera pot, yeah.
Or well, I think he regularly Hera pots. Question in chat: any speculation on how the new strats like Hera pot, Diver Down, Icebreaker will affect the average time of this season? I think it'll have an impact. Just because Hera pot really speeds up Tower of Hera. And more importantly, can allow you to finish Tower of Hera without a light source or without a fire source, which means that if there's something in Hera, a lot of times Hera does get put off till the very end, generally just before GT, unless there's like something in here that you want. So Hera pot is definitely going to affect that. Diver Down, I don't think it's going to affect it any more than what normal rando does for Diver Down. I don't think there's anything special for spoiler races in that effect.
I mean, overall, even in general rando, it's increased the speed of our runners, so it's definitely going to have some sort of effect in the spoiler log.
Yeah. So we find out why Hydropower went for that big key. That was a progressive sword. That was the number 2 sword that we found so far.
Getting a little troll worm there.
So Zelga finds the flute, which is what we were. I think that's why that might have been one of the reasons why Zelga came in here.
I believe Seema just found the mirror in Skull Woods, in the pinball room.
It's a fun place for it.
It's convenient, especially if you don't have a key to get out.
All right, so
Zelga found the flute. Sorry, in the dark basement of Pod.
Boots were in Super Bunny Cave. Would explain the early routing there. Boots are usually a pretty desirable item to have just in general. This makes the game feel better. You don't want to go too out of the way. And looks like Professor Renderer is going for the Hera pot. There's really nothing here except that sword, and you have to have that big key for it. So
It's interesting. I guess he doesn't want a Master Sword. Unless there's another sword in the near term, in the near future here.
I think it's lending to my theory that I think he's playing this mostly blind. Alright, so Hydropower is going to go ahead and open up Turtle Rock.
He wasn't on the... I don't think he was on the thingamajigger.
No. Oh, Zelga's typing in chat here. Wait, you need Master Sword for Ganon? Probably. So just to clarify, for people watching right now, spoiler log races have a few different rules compared to a normal rando race. You are allowed to look at your opponent's streams. You are allowed to look at the restream. You're allowed to chat in the restream if you want to. We treat it more of like an NMG plus type of run instead of like a blind rando. So that's what's going on there. And by the way, hi Zelga, in case you're watching.
Yeah, Zelga, hi. And hi everyone else if you're watching.
Alright, so
Zelga has completed Pod.
Hydra's gonna grab this this red cane.
Yeah, kind of important. If you wanna beat Meyer and Turtle Rock. Activating that flute.
It's good for mobility.
Mm-hmm. Probably heading to the Meyer area.
Maybe. Where is our fire rod at? And I'm curious. I'm gonna take a peek. Oh my.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Well then.
Alright, so now Hydra is gonna go for this.
Probably his ocarina. Probably get
So,
King Helmut's
what you're gonna see here is some heads up routing here. He's gonna go ahead and take this way through that you rarely ever see. Grab this mirror, and then just get out of here. So right now, so Zelga and Hydra are really, they're kind of tearing apart the field right now. Yeah, they're kind of on pace with each other for the most part. There's a silvers.
Oh boy.
Nice. Oh yeah, we know where those were at.
Yes. That's one of those quality of life things. If you can get it, you're gonna get it.
Yeah, so silvers save roughly, I would say, probably a minute off of your Ganon, and even more so save you a bunch of time on Vitreous. They're always worth grabbing, especially if they're literally in arm's reach. So so Zelga's going for that shovel that we scouted earlier. I'm excited. What's here?
I don't know. I haven't gotten to there, so I'm not gonna look.
Yeah. So, all right, so that is going to be our sword 3.
3, yes. Interesting.
Yo, and I think our 4th sword looks pretty routable too. So I have a feeling that our Hera sword is going to be the one that we're not getting, at least on Zelga's side.
Yeah, that's probably true.
So
But
like
I'm
a common, so
Sorry,
like a
go ahead.
common, so a common strategy, right? Like when you're routing these, is you're gonna, if you can, you're gonna put Hera off till the end, and you're gonna do it just before GT, because that's like the fastest way of doing it. If you just have to go mode it.
Yeah, and it minimizes your trips up the mountain, so. I'm surprised that Professor Render did not get his boots up on Death Mountain. So I find that a little interesting. Maybe he is playing it blind after all.
So also keep in mind is that like you don't have to operate from memory. You're allowed to continue to reference the log throughout the course of the race. So all right, there's our sword that I was talking about earlier. That was routable.
4th and final. So
Yep. I suspect that Zelga's route through Hera is probably going to be a Hera pot.
yeah, that would make sense.
You're going to see a lot of really fast Tower Heras.
Zelga coming into Ice Palace. Looks like we'll probably see a icebreaker.
It's a good play.
As Hydra takes down Helmasaur and gets his 2nd crystal.
And then in a second, we'll actually see why Zelga actually routed that mirror the way he did. We'll know why.
Wink, wink.
Hint, hint. Yo, Zelga, you forgot something.
Yeah, he needs that. Gotta hammer peg and lift up that big boulder stone thing. There you go.
By the way, that's a very easy thing to do.
Oh yeah, I've done it already many times. Especially when you think you're in go mode and you're going. You just totally blow right by.
So what Zelga tried to do there was it's a spin clip, a spin slide clip into the stair. If you do it right, you'll basically clip a little bit into the stairwell, and that'll trigger the stair transition downstairs. It's a pretty cool trick. It saves like frames, but in spoiler log races, frames can matter very easily.
That's right. That's right. As Renderer gets his flute in pod. We're about to see a cold stare fight. And where did cold stare?
All right, so we have our fire rod. That lets us go into Skull Woods,
That it
which
does.
is a 5/6 crystal.
That's,
These are true statements, right?
they are very true.
All right.
Will that be his play, though?
I have a feeling that's going to be the play. Yep. Maybe.
Yeah.
Probably Swamp Palace first. You can do this quick. I haven't looked at the Swamp Palace log.
I have a feeling it's going to be quick. Might as well do it while you're here. As we are saluting the duck on Hydra's side.
All right. So Simo is going to go for his fire rod. He's on the right path. Hydra Power is also probably going to go grab that third sword.
Probably a good idea. Zolga is in swamp, probably gonna just head towards the back. Simo picking up a little safety there in a heart container.
So there's our third sword, which means Hydra Power is probably going to be skipping the sword on Hylia Island. Maybe.
Probably.
Yeah, there's for a well-experienced player, that gold sword really doesn't mean a whole lot versus tempered. It's a little bit better. It's a lot better in a few niche cases, but generally, the juice usually isn't worth the squeeze. By the way, we're seeing a diver down here. This is diver down right there. It's gonna speed up your clearing of Swamp Palace, but not by enough to. It's not enough to like say that it's gonna be like something different from spoiler alert. Right, the time savings is going to be pretty much the same. There's really not much of a routing implication there versus just playing normally. A blind seed.
I forget what we were talking about, but Zelga is hinting there's something that she wants to get over somewhere.
Yeah, so yeah, he's going to. Yeah, maybe I this could just be getting us out of the way. There you go. Heart containers are always nice. So there's our third crystal of the game. Third, yep. And this is really when the pace of the seed's going to pick up. There's not a whole lot that Zelga is going to need to finish the seed. In fact, there's only one thing left that he needs.
Yes, there is.
Oh, and then remembering there was something at Pyramid, but not quite got the right crystals for it.
Yeah, you don't have the right crystals there. Gotta go get that crystal at Skull Woods there.
A little bit of a misroute, not too much of a time loss.
Shouldn't hurt him that much. Nice. Icebreaker by Hydra, grabbing the big key of ice.
Be careful, Renderer.
Hydra grabbing his fire rod.
And yeah,
that's an ouchie.
Yeah. It's going to come back later. This is a 5-6 though, so he's going to have to come back sooner than later.
Yes.
I'll say that like Zelga's like movement plans or routing is very indicative that there's a very important item there on Pyramid buried. Kern, spoiler hype.
Spoiler hype?
Yes.
I mean, you might be able to figure it out if you're good at.
Speaking of which, we got some close crystal sync on the bottom half of our screen.
That's number 4 for Zalga and number 3 for Simo. And we got number 3 for Hydra as well.
All right, now Zelda's gonna go grab that bomb that he is now unlocked. And Hydra is probably gonna get some time back by not prematurely visiting the bomb shop. So that'll be nice, unless he does. But... So we have a couple theories in chat here. It's either book, which leads to our ether medallion, or could be the ether medallion.
Those are good theories.
Yeah, setting up a bomb dash. Nice trick. Basically, if you hook while and then dash immediately afterwards, the bomb will follow you. Normally, it'll like wait and then explode.
But yeah,
you'll be sad.
Yeah, you'll be very sad.
So there is our ether medallion, and is also the spoiler log does tell you what this prize is going to be. So he's going to trade that B for a red potion.
And I believe that's go mode for Zelga.
Yep. It's going to be able to do Meyer. Going to go mode Meyer. Going to go mode TR, and then Tower Hera, and then Ganon. This is turning out to be a pretty great run. with hydropower hot on Zelga Dasan's tail.
Mm-hmm. And Simo's not that far behind either.
Nah, like he's like maybe I would say a dungeon behind. They're both like a dungeon behind Zelga. What's gonna kind of hurt Simo right now is that he's still in that fighter sword, and the lack of offense in these harder dungeons is gonna catch up with you.
Yes.
Or so Simo's going for a bomb dupe. So if you screen transition as it goes to 0, the bomb will just like not explode and instead just follow you again. So that's another way to do that quick.
Hydra taking down his moth.
The half magic's always nice.
Yes.
So spoiler log races make Misery Mire less miserable. You just know exactly where that big key is at. You're not hunting for it.
And there she is.
Okay, so the way Hydropower routed this, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and fall down the hole here. Grab it this way, because we do need this mirror for Swamp.
Yes. My question is, why is Professor in Thiefstown?
Yeah, this is a pendant. All right, got some spooky action going on.
Everybody loves spooky action.
All right, so right now we kind of know the path that Zelga is going to be on. Same thing with Hydra. It's farming up rupees.
Maybe for a potion?
Maybe. Oh no, we needed bomb money. That's right.
Oh. Yes.
So, for those just joining us, this is a spoiler log race. Our runners, 15 minutes before the race started, got 15 minutes to look at the log, study it, plan out an ideal route, and now they've got to execute on it. It's a very execution-heavy mode. It's not for the faint of heart. They're stressful, but they are fun. You really get to kind of... Sorry, go ahead.
I said you would think that knowing where everything is, it wouldn't be as stressful, but it...
Oh, no, you trade one type of stress for another, right? So instead of it being, what am I going to last location? It's going to be, how am I going to last location? Like, how much time am I going to need to figure out, more importantly, what I need to grab, but also what safeties I need. That's like the big thing. And knowing what safety you're going to need is something you just have to learn over time. It's not something that you just get overnight.
Right.
You have to kind of get a feel for how you play and what your skill level is at, and then figure that out. Yeah. All right. So Kern is dropping some knowledge here on the tier list for safeties. So I'm gonna go ahead and repeat this because this is good stuff. So
Yes.
armor is S plus. Like, and that's true. Like armor effectively doubles your health pool unless you get hit by like a spike trap or something like that. It does a static 1 heart. And then heart containers. Finding heart containers along the way, especially easy to grab ones, big bang for your buck. And then kind of from there, yeah, some people are saying like bug net is a D. I'd have to agree. It's pretty circumstantial. Coupled with powder becomes a bit better, but you're gonna want powder over probably a bug net.
I mean, I would want powder over a bug net.
Yeah. Swords are an A. I agree. Kern, why aren't you in here talking? That's true. All right, so... Sorry, go ahead.
He's with us in spirit.
Yes.
In chat.
Yeah. So, for context for people who might be watching this later, Kern is he's also an administrator of the Spoiler Tournament. And he's been pretty instrumental in getting all of the commentary work put together. And for that, I'm grateful, because I'm only one man.
Yeah, putting one of these together takes many people.
Yep. So anyway, Zelga is working his way through Turtle Rock right now. There's only a couple dungeons left to go, and is about halfway through this dungeon. He's just gonna be able to tear right through it. Feels pretty good. You got silver arrows. Probably not a mail upgrade. He did opt to skip the blue mail that was in the escape sewers. I don't know where the other one was at. I'll have to look that up.
He will not be getting it.
Nope. Yeah, so for context, because I think all of our runners are probably going to skip it, is that other armor was actually in the Eastern Palace boss. It was on Armos Knights. So yeah, rip that armor upgrade.
Yeah.
That's kind of another thing, right? Is sometimes you can end up with 2 armors that like one could be on Ped, another could be on Sahasrarlud. Like it's completely inaccessible, and you just have to deal with that.
Looks like Seema is getting his Master Sword here momentarily. As Zelka's about to get his key to get to Trinex.
I mean, Zelga right now is staring down, I'd say probably about 55. It's probably what this is looking like right now.
It's going to be close, if not a little bit longer than that, I would say. Maybe a 57.
I mean, you're going to Harapot. That's going to save a lot of time.
It's just going to come down to where that big key is in GT. And Trinex is going. As Seema picks up his temper.
Alright. Yeah, Yeah, so right now Zelga is a Herapot, and yeah, so Zelga, yeah, this is gonna save, that Herapot is gonna save a lot of time.
Yeah.
Because Hydropower, when he did Tower Hera, you know, he went for that big chest and he had to get the big key, and that's a time investment.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say a big one, maybe. I don't know.
I mean, it was in the basement, so a good minute. That was an excellent Herapot by Zelga.
Yeah, that was beautifully executed.
I don't think I'll ever be able to do it like that.
Got the unfavorable Moldorm bounce. And there's our 7th crystal. So this is a spoiler log race. We don't do the GT big key guessing game, but chat, feel free to like kind of say where you think that big key's at. Just give like a location. We'll just do this for fun. It's 3. That's a. If it was just the number of checks, that'd be pretty statistically correct. Does that count as 1? I think that counts as 1.
I think it should. It should. So I don't know if we've done this in a while, but just want to shout out all of our racers, Professor Render, Hydropower, Simo, and Zelga. And our trackers. Let's get them in chat here.
Mr. Scruff Ninja Tuna and Maid Walker. I actually don't know how to pronounce her name. I'm sorry. Yeah, help me out a little bit here. Maid Walker? Maid Walker?
Mad Walker? Mad E. Walkered. Mad E. Walkered.
I don't know. But anyway, thank you so much for helping out. You're a rock star.
Yes, and I'm Sokol2044, and that's Synac.
Alright. So, Zelga has the big key. He's now going to finish up. This is, it's like a 5-minute climb, typically. Especially with Zelga's loadout. So this won't be too terrible.
Yeah, so your 55's looking pretty good right now.
Potentially, probably a little bit more than that. Alright, Hydropower, he's working his way through Turtle Rock. This will be his last crystal. Simo is also going to be doing the Turtle Rock Tower Hera double play here. And Professor Render is going to be going to town here on Cold Stare.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice select screen glitch there to put that ice in place. Zelga takes on Land Mullahs 2, and they're gone. I didn't even see them. So Cyanek, do you wanna, as Zelga is going up the tower, do you wanna plug the tournament one more time?
I'll plug it all day long. So we've got this ALTTP Spoiler Log tournament. If somebody could get us like a link to maybe the Discord, or I could find it here in just a minute. But basically, this is starting on the 24th. We've got 64, now 63 runners. We did have a dropout, but we've got a full set of runners here. They've got 7 weeks of Swiss. And another 8-player bracket afterwards as a playoff. So we've got like about 2.5 months of spoiler log races for your enjoyment, and it'll all be on Speed Gaming.
Woot woot!
So, like one of the cool things about spoiler log is that you can know that key's up there, so you know you don't have to come upstairs with any keys. You don't have to deal with that. It's something to kind of look at. So typically when you're going through these races, when you're in the dungeon, you're typically looking up the dungeon that you're in, and you're kind of then figuring out the key routing that way. It's something that you can kind of do on the fly. You don't have to really worry about that too much. At least that's my experience personally. You have our Aga fight. It's triple?
Oh,
double.
Double.
I think that was double. Either that or it was like a debated single.
I think it was a double.
Yeah. That, I think, was a double as well.
I think that was a double as well.
There we go. So, 2022. Ag is down. Actually, I might be kind of on par with my estimator.
You're very close.
Yeah, basically, like, if you have, like, sub 50 on one of these, that's, like, the run. Sub 1 hour is really good, too.
As we're hopefully going to get some bacon pretty soon. Zelda in phase 2. And now phase 3.
And speaking of which, Hydra has the 7th crystal. Yeah. With silvers, yeah, all right, we'll be slightly over the 55 I was estimating.
Yeah, the Ganon wasn't nice with the teleportations there.
There's a double. Attempted triple. Not quite, but that is pretty good. And that's a solid run. I've not looked in SRL, but I have a feeling that if this is not a #1 run, it's really close. Zelga has finished with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 10 minutes, 7 seconds. That's including the 15 minutes of the log study. So how that works in SRL is the race starts, you get the log, and then a bot counts you down 15 minutes. So it's hour 10 in SRL, 55 minutes when you subtract that time. That's a really solid run.
Very solid.
So now Hydra is kind of on the heels, probably set to probably take second or third in this race. There are like 10 participants, it looked like. And we are joined by Zelga Dasan. How are you doing, sir?
Hey, thank you. Doing pretty well. GG's.
GG's.
That was. I would say, like, despite like the few things we saw, we thought that was quite the run.
Yeah.
That was a pretty impressive showing there.
Thanks. I mean, obviously, I had a couple derps. Like, I didn't misread Swamp Palace instead of Skullwoods, by the way. I had it in my notes to do Skullwoods first. I just didn't because I forgot it was a 5-6. I was like, oh, I'll just do Pyramid Fairy next. It just totally slipped my mind.
That's fair.
But, yeah, all was a relatively good run. No major complaints, really.
Excited for the first week of the tournament?
Absolutely. I mean, the spoiler is one of my favorite ways to play this game, and probably is my favorite. So I'm definitely looking forward to the tournament. I'm glad it's back, and yeah, let's have some fun.
Yeah, it looks like your first round match is against Nobline. And then, well, I guess we'll go from there.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of great runners. I'm definitely looking forward to it. It should be a lot of fun.
Yeah. So, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I'm excited to see some more matches of yours in the tournament.
So I have a question. It was asked to me, and I was asked to speculate on it. But me being the dumb person I am, I figure I should probably ask someone who's smarter than me. So, the two new glitches, Diver Down and Harapot, that recently kind of became into existence, right?
And Icebreaker.
And then an Icebreaker, right? How much influence do you think that's going to take on spoiler races versus just a regular blind rando? Like the influence of those three glitches.
I think that they will definitely all cut the times way down. Honestly, I think the biggest one is Harapot in terms of spoiler races. Like, if you're going to go to Left Side Swamp, okay, you save a little bit of time with Diver Down, but that doesn't happen all that often. Icebreaker would actually save probably quite a bit of time as well, but Hera is one of those dungeons you almost always just try and do last, and it could have Big Key in one of those spots that just costs you a free minute every time. So, Icebreaker and Harapot, I think, are going to be way more relevant to spoiler log running than Diver Down.
That's kind of what my speculation on that was, is that like Diver Down, it's not going to save you any more time than like a blind rando. Like if you're going to do Left Side Swamp, you're going to end up doing Left Side Swamp. Same thing is like you have to go into Swamp Palace, you're going into Swamp, right? So it's,
it would be really curious to see some race where something is hammer locked in the Big Key chest of ice, and somebody finds a way to like double dip that with Icebreaker and save a lot of time, like maybe required boots or something there. That would be the only way that I think it would be like ridiculously huge.
That would be crazy to see, and I would love to see that at least once. Like it could be a thing.
So, Zelga, I want to ask you a question, because I'm fairly new to spoiler log races. And if you don't want to, if it's strategy and you don't want to reveal it, that's fine. But when you get your spoiler log, what do you look for first and what do you avoid? Like
Oh yeah,
safety
I'm talking about it. Typically, if I'm not like on a restream like this, I'll actually just show literally what I'm doing for the spoiler log. The first 5 minutes or so, 4 or 5 minutes, I'm typically just looking for all the things I know I will need based off of the crystal layouts. Like if I see Turtle Rock, okay, well, where's the fire rod? Where's the ice rod? Where's my medallion? Where's Samaria? All that type of stuff. And I do that for every dungeon. And then obviously I typically start with the things you always need, like the moon pearl, both gloves, hammer, things like that. And then after that, once I've actually nailed down everything I'm going to need, after that it just becomes routing. Trying to figure out how you can best save some time, double dip some, or avoid some double dips of areas. Like, I kind of questioned this run. For example, the mirror being in Skull Woods, but the flute being in Pod. I wanted to get the flute before I ever go to the Village of Outcasts area, but having the mirror makes pod routing so much better. So there's always a little bit of back and forth you have to try and figure out, and I don't even know what the answer was in this race, to be honest. But that's the core of my 15 minutes, is trying to put together a route, and then near the end, looking for some safeties, key layouts of dungeons, stuff like that.
Well,
So
fairly good
that
insight.
leads into the next question I want to ask. How do you figure out what safeties you're going to grab during the course of a run?
Typically, if something is really close, I'll just go ahead and grab it. Like I even debated a little bit. There was a heart in the bottom of Paradox Cave, like the 2 chests, whenever I was going to the 5. Otherwise, I didn't have to open the 2. I was like, well, okay, I'll get it. Like Back of Escape had armor this time that's super convenient, but it's a whole save and quit. And like the whole delay on top of everything else, it's like, is it really necessary if I'm going to end up on like 7 or 8 hearts? I probably don't need it. So,
okay.
I was just going to say, basically, if there are a lot of free hearts along the way, I'm probably not going to focus on armors. But, I mean, at the same time, if I have to go to Mire Shed and there's an armor there, obviously I'm just going to grab it.
What is the minimum amount of hearts that you want to take Ganon on?
In a typical spoiler race, I'll start feeling comfortable on about 5 hearts blue mail. If I'm going to stay on green, I'd like to be up around 7 or 8.
And Hydra is about to give us some bacon here very shortly.
All right. So, yeah, I'm trying to like think of what else we'd want to ask here.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, like one thing I'm sad about this year is that we're not going to have the special text for like Blind and Ganon and all that, because we're using the production site instead of my fork, which is unfortunate, but is what it is, right?
Yeah, I kind of like some of the little specialty stuff there was. I will kind of miss. It felt like it was like just unique in-community stuff that just kind of gave you a little extra chuckle while you were playing. Kind of helped de-stress from the very stressful nature of the run. I'll miss it.
Yeah, speaking about stress, some people say that this is like the most stressful way to play Rando. You'd probably agree with that sentiment, right?
Yeah, I would. Well, I don't know. Maybe like Oko stuff is absolutely gross. Sorry to maybe bring up bad memories, but yeah.
I was telling others about my Oko story. I won't go into it here, but yeah. All right. I think, yeah, Hydra Power almost has Ganon down. Just one more silver, it looks like. There we go. All right, and Hydra Power has finished with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 20 minutes, 2 seconds, putting him at 105 after the subtracting 15 minutes for the study. All right, we'll have hydropower here in just a second. Anything else you kind of want to say or talk about or bring up while we're waiting for hydropower?
I guess I think when I talked about like why I love spoiler rates so much is that they focus so much on execution. It feels like this perfect mix of NMG and rando. It's like I don't have to grind NMG over and over and over again because I get new routes every time. But at the same time, you've got all these like room-focused executions, and I really think it's like almost the perfect bridge as someone who still doesn't play a ton of NMG. I feel like this is like the perfect mix between the two if you want to try and learn one from the other.
Yeah, I was comparing it to like NMG plus. It's maybe kind of like a way of looking at it, maybe.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
We got all right, and we are joined by Hydropower 78. GG and hello.
Hello, you can just call me Bob Ross because we had some happy little accidents today.
All right, so Bob Ross, what was one of those happy little accidents?
Well, you see, I kind of left something in pod, and that would be the flute, because I'm looking at the key layout here, and I'm like, well, this is kind of goofy. So you know what? I'm just gonna go to Helma first, and then I'm gonna walk right back inside and get that flute. Except I forgot that part of it, and I'm dashing towards the village, and I'm like, hey, that menu doesn't look right. Oh shoot! So here we go, running back there, and I had to get it again. So oops, that was a happy little accident. Then another happy little accident was money was a problem towards the end there, because as I'm running back to fix my one happy accident of forgetting the flute, I'm like, hey, I need some money, because I'm going to Ice Palace. Ice Palace is a very dangerous place in spoilers. So I'm going to get myself enough money for a blue potion and still have enough money for Pyramid Fairy, because, I'm planning ahead here. So I get myself 268 rupees. That's enough for a blue potion and Pyramid Fairy. Except the problem was I forgot I needed to do chess game for the silvers. And I'm like, now what do I do? So I'm desperately looking for any source of money in the dungeons or, anywhere I'm around. Like, no, we're just going to have to bite the bullet and farm the 50 spot in the desert area there. So that was another one. And then the funny one was I was trying to open Turtle Rock early on, and I wasn't actually standing on the medallion. So the Bombos medallion just basically did nothing. It was like the goggles, it did nothing. And I'm like, hey, wait, that animation's done really fast. Oh, shoot. We'll come back later. So, yeah, there you go.
It's spoiler race for you. Hey, you know what? Get it out of your system now. That's for both of you. Get this stuff out of your system now, because, it becomes game day here on the 24th. In fact, actually, you scheduled your race already, haven't you?
You know what? I did, and then I had another happy little accident because I'm like, wait a minute, that's the same time as the finals game 5. I better change that. So I'm reaching out to Techno, but he's asleep right now, so we might change that to either a couple hours earlier or later. So I'll find out what he wants to do. But yeah, I'm like, hey man, let's do it. Let's get excited here. So, but let's not try to go up against the finals game 5, because I want to watch that too, for God's sake,
So we could do it. We could do it after the finals, because then we can lead into. That'd be kind of cool, wouldn't it?
It would be, except for Techno is in the EU there, and I believe for him that starts to get to be like 10:30 at night. So I don't know how late he stays up there, but which means we might do it beforehand instead. I'm gonna find out what he wants to do, but like I said, he's probably in Dreamland right now, so we'll let you know. So, but yeah, it's Bernie time. Very excited, man. Can't express how excited I am.
All right, and I think we're also then joined by Simo.
Howdy.
Howdy. How's it going? GG, sir.
Went pretty well. I felt pretty good about it, except I made a couple routing errors, or I missed a couple things, and I had to kind of double back for some stuff. But overall, I'm relatively happy because I know that spoiler races tend to be a lot harder. So I think I did at least okay.
Yeah, we failed to mention that you finished with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 24 minutes, 48 seconds with the study time, so that would be 1 hour, 9 minutes, and 48 seconds with that.
Well done. Actually, I'm gonna look up who your opponent is here. All right, so yeah, you're playing Rejected Winner. You're round 1. How are you feeling about that?
Well, we'll see how that goes. I want to get a few more seeds in before I do that race, so I get a bit more comfortable with this. I'd only really managed to finish about half of the routing I wanted to do, so I was pretty comfortable at first. But then after I gotten like the boots and the cane, then I had to route a bit more. It was less planned out. So I think I just need to practice a bit more so I can route both better on the fly and also just be a bit more planned out as well.
So,
just looking.
sorry,
Sorry, I was just gonna say, just looking at SRL, Professor Renderer has forfeited.
he said he is gonna complete the seed though, but yeah, he forfeited. We'll have to ask him in a little bit here about his run, but so Sibo, I have a question. So how long you've been doing the spoiler races for? I know you're a name that I've only seen recently, which is great, by the way. Love to see new faces. This is awesome. Like, we have a ton of new players this time around. How long you been kind of doing it? How long you been playing Rando in general? Just kind of get a feel for kind of who you are.
Well, Rando I've been doing for, let's see, I only started in I think about V30, and mostly I just done standard and open seed, so I'm pretty comfortable with that. Spoilers, at the last spoiler tournament I had tried like 1 or 2 seeds, but I didn't do very well at them, but I was familiar with the format and I did like it. And then I saw that there was this new spoiler tournament coming up, so I wanted to give it a try, give it like an earnest try.
Yeah, and I think what's great about it too is that we get multiple weeks of competition with the Swiss format. So I believe you said 7 weeks there, Sinek. So that's great. Like even if you have a hard time with it, you can still get your games in. I know the last tournament I got bopped by Pink Kitty Rose in the first round. Surprise! But
It was a design decision that like we were like looking through. Here, I'm gonna bring Professor Render in here, but we were looking at like the format of how things went last year, and we just realized that you spent like a bunch of time routing out 3 seeds to qualify, just to get bopped in the first round. Kind of just felt bad. I agree with that, right? So that's kind of, we were like, well, we want to provide more gameplay. We felt like
just
had more
I had a
substance.
great time with the first tournament, even though I got bopped. It was a lot of fun, so that's why I'm enthused again for it again. So, but yeah, I think it's a great change, and I think that's going to help a lot of people that maybe are newer to spoilers. Like you said, it's great that they're giving it a try. So I hope they enjoy it as much as the regular gang does here. So.
All right, and we are now also joined by Professor Renderer. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing fine.
Yeah. So, kind of, we noticed that, like, first, how you doing? Like,
So I'm going through Turtle Rock right now. What pretty much happened was just I didn't have a defined what was it, a route that like in my like at the time I had an opening route, but after that point I didn't have a route in my mind, so I just kind of just played it as I went, sort of. But the way that it kind of happened was that I ended up in a situation where I realized the more time that I'm wasting without the mirror or the boots, the more time I feel behind. And after that death on Helma Star, I kind of realized, you know what, I need to get that mirror and those boots right away if I want to at least at least get myself back into this though, you know. So that's what happened.
no, that's completely fair. Like, these are really, like, that 15 minutes. And I think everybody in this room can attest to this. What I'm about to say is that 15 minutes is short.
Yes.
Like, it's not nearly as much time as you would ever really want, and that's kind of by design, right? There's some pressure there.
Yeah.
Yeah, have you ever-
Personally, I would be better if I had like 20, 30 minutes. But I know that's by design. Yes, I totally get it. I just feel like I'm not used to like being under that much pressure to find everything I need, and then whenever I need to find out what's like, oh, I need to find this. Just where do I find that, and so on and so on. That is a problem to me. And then I'm like near the end of it, I'm like thinking, during my study session, I'm like, wait, where's the flute? Like, and then I realized it's not called the flute in the game. It's for whatever reason called the ocarina, which I don't get why. I mean, I have an idea. I know it's supposed to be an ocarina of time, but like later on, but like. But like, why call it ocarina in the game's code when it's just when it's really a flute?
Because that's just kind of the way it was written, and is changing it has to change a bunch of stuff. So
Right.
that's what you're looking at, or like so we're looking at like for the folks out there that were wondering what's going on, the spoiler log that you download is a bit more of a raw format than what you see when you just look at the permalink. The permalink that the runners get does not have the spoiler log on it. There's basically some black magic sorcery that happens to basically let the bot get the spoiler log, but then the link doesn't have it. And then we distribute that to you on Go. And what that is it's a list. The items that you see are the name of the item behind the scenes, basically in the randomizer's code. And it just happened to be called Ocarina Inactive. Because there's also an item called Ocarina Active, which is a pre-activated flute. And those are actually two separate items.
Mm-hmm. God.
So
that was like I searched flute and I'm like, where is it? And then I start scrolling and I see Ocarina Inactive, like, oh right, that's called an ocarina because that's how it's known as internally. Yeah. That's like, oh, duh. At least I have an idea what it's going to be called once I play through this again. You know, it's something, yeah.
All right, so we probably want to wrap this up here soon. Do we have any other final thoughts from any of our runners before we call it a night?
I'd just like to thank you, Sinek, and your army of bots, or maybe just one overlord bot, not sure. But thanks for all you do, and thanks for getting this together, and I'll see you in tournament time here in a couple days. So thanks again, and have a great night.
Yeah, I'd like to
it's gonna
second
be a good
that.
time.
Yeah, I just really appreciate everything that goes into these, not just for the dailies, but like all the for people who don't know, it's amazing what all that Synac is involved with that makes everything run so smooth behind the scenes. So definitely much appreciated. Thank you both for commentary, tracking, restream. All this is a really awesome. Thanks for having us.
All right. So
for me too, I'm sorry, but I didn't mean to jump in on this.
No, go ahead.
But yeah, again, if I had a better route in my mind, I would have had a better time at it. But yeah, but again, thanks to the commentators, trackers, and the Synac for especially for giving these bots and signing up for the spoiler log tournament, man. I know I'm not gonna be competing in it because I'm not good with execution and all, like riding on the fly like just that quick in short time. But it's still a fun mode, nonetheless. So yeah, thanks to trackers, commentators, and yeah, that's all I gotta say.
Yeah, I just want to make sure everybody goes out and follows all these runners for bravely putting themselves on display tonight or afternoon, depending where you are. And follow our trackers, Ninja Tuna and Matt Ewokert, and myself and Synac. And I am also excited for the tournament coming up here, and I can't wait to track and commentate more of these races.
I'm looking forward to all the work that's going to be brought down on me. It's going to be great. Anyway, all right. I think we're going to call this a night. Yep, May 24th is the first day of the Spoiler Log tournament and the finals of the ALTTPR League. That's going to be quite the showdown.
Yes, I cannot wait for that.
All right. Well,
So.
I'm going to go ahead and call it a night here. Take care, everybody. Thank you for watching.
Thanks, everyone. See you later.